would like to welcome all to our seminar series, also our seminar lecture together. This semester, myself, Cengiz Beşikçi and Özgür Ergül will try to arrange the seminar series. This week, a very distinguished lecturer from Hacettepe University is with us. First of all, I would like to thank her for accepting such an early presentation for us. Let me try to introduce Pınar Duygulu to you. I think in 1996 she has graduated from Computer Engineering Department of this university. 2 years later, I think, from Masters again in this department. In 2003, I think I was one of the jury members. She got her PhD again from this department. Then, as a postdoctoral researcher, she went to University of Berkeley. After a year, I think, she moved to Carnegie Mellon, if I'm not wrong. Then she came back not to Middlesex University, but Bilkent University, and she was professor there for more than 10 years maybe. Then, in that time, I think, as a sabbatical leave in Carnegie Mellon, and finally, she moved to Hacettepe University Computer Engineering Department. She is together with us. It's a privilege to present her, and she will present today a seminar entitled Recognizing and Transferring Styles of Artists Through Illustrated Children's Books. Frankly, I work in these topics, but I don't understand what's going on here. I am very anxious to hear about what is the problem and how do we solve this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much again for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here. Today I will try to take you to your childhood, and we will mostly talk about the illustrations in the children's books, and then first we will try to recognize the styles of the illustrations or the illustrators, and then we will do a more difficult job and try to transfer a photo or any other image to the style of any given illustrator. Then, if time permits, I would like to also talk about some other work, and again, I will combine it with how we can find the descriptive parts in the illustrations. Actually, this study has started when I was reading this book to my son about 10 years ago. It is a book about the human rights, and actually it includes some pages illustrated by different artists. And at each page, they draw some lines from the human rights according to the understandings of the kids. And then when we were actually looking at those pictures, he said that, oh, this is from Corky Paul, oh, this is from Axel Scheffler, because we were reading the books from those artists. And I said, oh, maybe, let's just look at to the back page. And yes, he was right. Actually, the picture which was in that book was actually in the style of the Winnie the Witch character, which was drawn by Corky Paul. As you see here, these are all different characters, written or just drawn by the same artist, but still can capture, even like a 6-year-old boy can capture the style similarity from those pictures. And then, as I said, it was similar for the other artists. For example, especially in this one, maybe the colors and the big eyes and so on can be the characteristic. And for example, the other ones, again, maybe the eyes, the similar animal characters can be similar. So this motivated us to see whether we can also recognize those styles with our computers using the machine learning algorithms. And for that one, we collected the books, first from our library at home, and then from the libraries from the schools around us. And then we constructed a set consisting of around 6,500 pages from 24 artists or the illustrators. Then first, well, this is just the artists as you see. We have, as you see, the artists from all over the world, as well as some Turkish ones, since we were familiar with them as well. And then we tried to do what we can do with this data set. First of all, we said, okay, yes, we can recognize the styles. see whether this picture is drawn by that artist as well with the computers. And then there are some more interesting things that we can do. We can transfer the style, or we can maybe draw a new painting with the same style of that artist. And finally, this is still a question, whether we can find those distinctive parts, as I said, for example, those big eyes or some strokes, whether we can also capture those things. That the third part is still we are studying, but the others we have some results to show. So for the first one, for the classification, actually we can do, first of all, a simple task. And we can say that simply we give a training set from the illustrations of that artist, and then we try to find for a given page, a new page, whether that is also drawn by that illustrator. So first we tried, so that was a study in 2017, and we used some known networks to test their performance, and we said that yeah, it was a promising direction to go. But then we said that okay, we have to work on a more difficult, by the way, this is by the way, for the book categorization, it means that whether we can find the correct book of the artist. And then we try to see whether also we can check, for example, by giving 4 books of the same artist, and we will give a new book, totally new book. It means that it will include totally new characters from the same artist, whether still we can recognize a style. Because it means that maybe if you have only 10, let's say, Winnie the Witch books, these are all including the same character, the Winnie the Witch, and her cat, but maybe in another book, maybe the professor, in this case, that's totally a new character, but the style is the same. So still, we were able to actually recognize it with some satisfactory results. But for us, the most interesting thing was that with those deep networks, actually we were able to capture some interesting parts in the images, actually shared with most of the artists. For example, eyes, usually we have the animals in those books. So we can capture animal-like eyes or fish-like eyes. For example, in this case, these are frog or fish-like eyes. Or we have some structures like the buildings or some tree-like structures, some wheels. And since we have, again, all those animals, we can capture some shape of the noses. So that was actually promising for us to go in that direction. And then, as I said, we moved to capture those styles for transferring them to natural images. Actually, style transfer or image-to-image transfer or translation is a hot topic today, and usually you can either convert the photographs to the styles of Monet, Van Gogh or whatever. You can simply change the horses to zebras, apples to oranges, and so on, or you can sometimes change the weather of that given image. So the idea is that usually in the current ones, they are using the generative adversarial networks, and the idea is actually similar to language translation, similar to, for example, translating English to French and then French to English. Let me shortly explain the main idea in behind of this translation work, and then I will move to our network details. So here the idea is that we have a generator network and a discriminator network. Generator networks tries to get some images from, let's say, a domain A, and try to generate an image in domain B. And then the discriminator takes this B and see how likely it is to be in the category of B. So in this case, they are actually competing against each other. And the networks that we are using are mostly, or just that are similar to our network, are mostly using the cyclic consistency as well. It means that if you are transferring domain A to domain B, and then again, if you are transferring domain B to domain A, then the first A should be same as the last A, okay? And again, this should be in the other direction as well, the reverse direction. So these are all actually added as the loss functions to the networks. So again, we started from those studies, and tried to now convert a given photograph, an image, to the style of the illustrators from our data set. But then we noticed that, actually, by the way, this is a subset of our data set that we used for the style transfer. When we were doing that style transfer, we noticed that actually the most commonly used networks, cyclogram and dualgram, which are providing impressive results in other domains, are not actually very helpful in this case for our new domain. Why? For example, cyclogram usually captures the style perfectly. It means that, for example, in this case, it is Axel Scheffler's style. The nice colors, the contours are well designed. So you really see that style in the result. But unfortunately, now the content is somehow missed. As you see, for example, especially those clouds here are converted into something strange. And again, here, for example, many things is converted into some extra shapes or the, let's say, objects. On the other hand, again, at the same year, there was another paper proposed. It was dualgram. It now converts the content in a nice way, but now it somehow loses the style. Why we are saying that it loses the style? Because it is very similar to the original picture. Now we cannot see the style of that artist in the converted image. So this motivated us to see whether we can combine both of them. We can whether capture or preserve both the content and the style. And that is why we recommended a new network. Actually, the main contribution in this network is especially to capture the low-level features, which are mostly corresponding to, let's say, edges or shapes in the pictures, both to preserve style, similar to, for example, the strokes or the boundaries in those cartoons, and as well as to capture the content, which is defining actually the objects. We have also compared our network with the other available ones, and as I will show the comparisons in a minute. But let me show you some example outputs. So these are on the left are natural images from photographs, and then here for 10 of those artists that we used as a subset in the study, these are the converted styles. As I said, since I'm very familiar with the children's books, I can say that yes, they are actually corresponding to the styles, for example, that in this case, this is the Porky Paul style, which is the village that I showed you in the very beginning. And also this is Axel Scheffler with the big eyes that I showed you again at the very beginning. So somehow we can capture some of those characteristics with them. But still actually it is very hard to evaluate them. Yes, they are very nice to look at visually, but somehow we have to also find a quantitative way to also evaluate those results. By the way, this is again some comparisons for some artists. As you see, cyclogram usually captures the style. It means that the colors, the borders of those illustrators are well preserved. Dualgram usually cannot capture the style, but it preserves the original image. But our network, which we call as Vanilla, usually preserves both the content and the style. CartoonGap is another network, another study that was specialized on the cartoons, especially anime-like cartoons like the Hayao Miyazaki. And again, I will show the comparisons with them later. Although it was very powerful in those cartoon images, here again, it was somehow limited to capture both style and content. And we believe that the result of those things are mostly the paintings. For example, Van Gogh, Monet. Yes, they have very specific styles, but still somehow they are closer to the natural images. On the other hand, when we are looking at the children's books, there are lots lots of abstract characters there. So just all those animal types or even those imaginary characters, for example, we will again discuss about Dr. Seals, we cannot find them in the real environment. So that is why it's a more difficult and more challenging data set compared to the existing ones. These are some more comparisons with the other networks. I'm skipping them. And then this is, by the way, another comparison. This is an ablation study for our work. In this case, as I said, our main contribution is to include the low-level features. But actually we have two parts, downsampling and the upsampling parts. And we also try to see if we, for example, skip one of them and only use, for example, our contribution in the downsampling or only in the upsampling, what would happen? And in this case, still we see that using those contributions in both sides help better than using them only in one part. So it can tell us that actually keeping the low-level features somehow helps us both for style and content. As I said, looking at the pictures is nice, but we have to do some evaluations. First, we did a user study and asked the users 3 questions. Actually, it was a very difficult task, even for us to complete that one, so very difficult to choose the questions. Still, we are not sure whether these are the right ones, but first we said that, okay, we had given some examples from an artist, and then also provided a picture generated by our system, and then asked the users whether they are drawn with the same artist or not. That was a single question. And then, since visual appeal is important, we asked whether this is visually appealing or not. Because as I said, yes, you can generate something, but it doesn't mean anything. It may not look perfect. And as the third one, we asked the users, what is the content of this image? In this case, we limited ourselves with only the scene styles, 10 categories in this case, like mountain, beach, street, whatever. And see whether we can keep the content here by asking which category of the scene is provided in the stylized image. But still, we have to do some quantitative results. And for that one, our main contribution to this literature is that we included 2 new networks, classifier networks. The first one is for style, and the second one is for content. Style, we captured this one like this. If I can simply convert the style of an artist, Corky Paul, Axel Scheffler, it means that the result should be similar, or the result should be classified as that artist. Otherwise, if I cannot capture that style, it will still remain as a picture, as a natural picture. So that is why I can put it in the category of photographs. So that was our style network. For the content, now it means that if I simply transfer the content correctly, then I will keep the mountains, buildings correctly, so still I can classify them as buildings. But if I cannot transfer the content, it will be only an illustration. So in this case, our 11th category will be, in this case, the illustrations, if we cannot put them into any scene category. So in this case, we compared our network with the other 3 ones, and we have seen that again, quantitatively, CycleGAN actually captures the style, but not the content. DualGAN captures the content, but not the style. But when we combine both of them, Ganilla, our network, preserves both of them. Why some numbers are strange? Because if, for example, style is totally preserved, but content is not. So in this case, one is very high, but the other is low. Especially, for example, with DualGAN, we see that content is preserved. It means that it is very similar to the original picture, but there is no new style. So in this case, our goal was to capture both of them. And also, as I said, we compared it with the ablation models separately, and the combination was better in all cases. We also tried to understand the network by just checking which images were correctly classified with the style classifier and the content classifier. And actually, the first two are the ones that are misclassified with high error and low error. These are the ones which are correctly classified, but with low confidence and high confidence. This one is for cycle gun, and this one is for our network. Usually they are seen better just when you enlarge them. But it tells us that actually, yes, the numbers are related to the pictures. And again, this is for the content as well. As I said, Cartoon Gun works on the anime cartoons. And actually they worked on mostly Hayao style, Miyazaki Hayao. Unfortunately, we couldn't reproduce the same data set because it was captured from a video. When we tried to do it, somehow the resolution was not the same, the quality was not the same. Rather, we collected the images again from Google, and in this case it's actually a more challenging data set because now it includes more stories. But still, we were able to somehow generate the outputs as well for that difficult or for that different data set. Of course, our method can also fail when, especially, for example, for some artists like Dr. Seuss, for example, when there are only a few colors, a very white background, and only, for example, in Dr. Seuss it is just white, black, blue, and red, nothing else. So in this case, it tells us that mostly because of the texture not happening, actually our network is also not able to capture the style very well. We also lastly evaluated or compared our work with the networks which are called as neural style transfer. So in this case, this is called as paired image-to-image translation, because now you provide only a single image and a single output. And again, although this is not at the same table, we were able to actually produce better results than the neural style transfer. Finally, if I have some time, I guess, I would like to talk about first another topic on another data set, then I will somehow merge it to the illustrators again. We are also working on videos, and especially trying to understand the videos by looking at both the visual and the textual input from those videos. But the thing is that when we look at the data sets, which are handcrafted, the older ones, usually now we reach to just up to 100% accuracy in those data sets. But they are not representing the real world. When you look at, for example, the videos in the YouTube, they can be in any form, you can have any videos. And even if you, for example, limit yourself with some specific content, like in this case basketball, you can reach to videos which are very unrelevant. Why? Because they are usually indexed according to the text corresponding to those videos, the meta text or the captions, but sometimes they do not represent the videos as well. Also, yes, they can be related to basketball, but inside that video, it's not only about the play, but it's about the audience, it's about the toes of the players, or some other stuff, or those cheerleaders. So usually when I'm searching for basketball, I do not want to get those scenes, but rather the play scenes. This also happens in other things as well, other videos. And the idea is that, yes, each video has some specific content, but whether we can find the real discriminative parts in those videos. For basketball, it means that I want to play games. And also, for example, when we are searching for the birthday videos, I usually prefer the candle blowing parts because that is specific to the birthdays. Otherwise, for example, gathering of the people, opening some presents, they can also happen in other events. But just that candles are usually the representative ones. So our goal was to find those representative or the discriminative parts in the image and video collections. We simply developed a system actually that was an old system that we adapted to the deep features. The idea is that we are both trying to separate the negatives. It means that non-basketball scenes from our collection, as well as those things corresponding to cheergirls, audience, and the others. With this idea, first we build a classifier, in this case it is M1. These are all non-basketball scenes, these are our negatives. And then we try to build another classifier between the purely basketball scenes and the unrelevant basketball scenes. Iteratively, actually, we are updating those two classifiers to be able to find the most positive, actually, basketball scenes in this case. We have applied it to many categories, not only to sports. Especially we worked on some do-it-yourself type of videos for the action classification, and we have seen that after finding those most discriminative ones and training our networks not with the noise data but that pruned data, our classification accuracies can increase. So in this case, for example, these are about arching, wheel changing, in this case diving. We have seen that we can usually keep the most relevant parts in the pruned data set and eliminate the unrelevant parts. But of course, when our data set is very small and very clean, so in this case, with our approach, we are trying to also remove even the clean ones. So in this case, we can have some wrong eliminations as well. But it actually increased, as I said, the performance in many different data sets, and we have seen that this is actually very helpful for us because now we can collect data simply by searching with the keywords on YouTube, on other data sets like Google, and then we can prune our data with such approaches to obtain a cleaner training data in a very large volume. So that was promising, as I said, for many different data sets, and we have seen that it is actually somehow better than the other similar discriminative or descriptive based approaches. We also applied it on a much larger data set, which is clothing data set, including 1 million images of clothes. This is cleaner compared to the videos, but in this case it's more challenging because of the data size. So again, we have some results there. But why this is important? Because now we are trying to capture the eyes. But unfortunately, we are very at the beginning of that work. This is another work that tries to find the discriminative patches in the images by Prof et al. We have seen that when we use simple features like handcrafted features, actually not those approaches and our approach can give good results because usually they capture the front and the back pages of the books. Rather, when we use deep features, we are most successful, but still there's too much way to go. And this was only for the full pages. The way to go is to look for the patches or the objects and find, let's say, those eyes, those buildings, and so on in that approach. So I would like to thank to my students. Samet is here, that is the real person who should get the credit for the style transfer approach. And I forgot, I should also thank Emre Akbaş because he's our collaborator for the last semester. Thank you very much for listening.
That was a very, really interesting new problem to solve.
Thank you.
Now, any questions that you people would like to